What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of October 2nd and the 3rd of 2021. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you so much. I hope that you've had a good week. Hope you're doing well. It's definitely been intense out there, so the intensity it's still here. We're having the sun and Mars, Mars finishing the opposition to Chiron. The sun will oppose this whole weekend, so there's a lot of vulnerable aspects, maybe stuff from the past coming up, different, things that we thought maybe we worked through, or stuff with people coming up. And that's going to be a big highlight of this weekend. So, we got to be smart. We got to pay attention to the signs. We don't want to get ourselves in the same sort of entrapment or cycle. So we want to find a lot of power and liberation in these times. Let's take a look at the chart. So the moon's going to be finishing up in Leo today, and it's going to oppose Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius. So, there's a lot of things that can be getting blown up in life. Maybe a lot of beliefs are getting questioned, or trying to find middle ground between society's beliefs, society's direction, and your own heart's value and your own heart's joy and excitement and where that's taking you. It is going to, throw a T-square over to Venus in Scorpio. And I think that that's, kind of the big highlight of the day. This is definitely dealing with financial aspects in our life. What are we doing? How are we receiving, good energy with people? Venus is, of course, really dispositing a lot right now with all the Libra energy, with the Sun and Mars are two defining energies, and Mercury retrograde. This is putting a big emphasis on, really getting through blocks, or even if we're feeling like we're getting in this like big hole in our life, or feeling like we're there isn't power, like we're losing power, or there's too much outside power, too much force in the world. I think it's important to remember that you have the capacity to create and to bring that beauty into your life. And it is through like intensity. It is through like dropping the program of fear that you can't have the abundance or the relationships or the people or whatever that feel good energy in your life is. Like, you can attract that in, but you have to kind of, I think, ditch a belief, ditch a story about why you can't have it. And that is releasing into Taurus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So there is that liberation of knowing your worth to the highest degree today that can be extremely beneficial and powerful. And it will liberate so that you feel like you're in your capacity to really create through oppositions, through, forceful energy of dealing with like, wow, what is going on in the world? What is going on with people? What is going on with money in the world? Like, there's a lot of questions, and Mercury retrograde's definitely having us reevaluate a lot of the justice system in general, and balance and harmony, and how to find that within our own mind, within our own self. It is off the square to Pluto finally. So that was a really long, drawn-out square, and it's moving back towards the trine to Jupiter. We have so much. There's so much out there for us to learn still. There's so much out there for us to see. So, today kind of brings the intensity, but it's like, wow, we can learn a lot from people. Yeah, we're going to see a lot from people. We're going to see a lot in society and in the world, but we can definitely learn a lot about ourselves and the reflection that we want, and how to get through blocks, get through fears, to really get the good stuff, get the good beauty. And the moon will even sextile that Mercury. So Mercury's, retrograde, but it's kind of like it broke off Pluto in the square. Now it's getting some really nice aspects from the moon today and Jupiter. So there's definitely a level of positivity that's in the day. But, I feel like it's like you got to take action for what's going to bring you the most value. And if you take the action for that, I think that you understand that justice and balance and beauty will be brought into your life, maybe through relationships, maybe through other people, partnerships. It could be a lot of things. But it's helping us get through maybe past stuff too. And there's a level of karma. There's a level of the past getting brought up with the Sun and Mars in opposition. The midpoint, of course, would be that 10 degrees of Libra. So, our two defining energies are in opposition and shining a lot of their light, shining a lot of power. Mars in Helios actually in opposition to Chiron. The Earth actually is with Chiron. So, we're getting a big upgrade when it comes to healing, and we're shining a lot of a light. There's a lot of light being shined on our wounds, vulnerabilities, our identification of ourselves. And we got to remember our power and our drive and our assertion to, keep moving, keep going, keep pushing, and grab onto some of that warrior essence within us to feel better. And that's where we're going to find the beauty. So, we don't need necessarily everything handed out. We want to be able to create from ourselves and with ourselves and how we can build. But, if help is out there to try and show you beauty, it would be silly to have a Leo moon and just kind of stay stubborn and like, I can do it all myself even, or this Chiron with big oppositions. Like, no, I can do it myself. Like, well, can you? Or would it help to have someone come in and lend a hand or help lift you up? But also, to not rely on that and to realize that you can lift yourself up and you can create and find that positivity as well. So Saturdays, definitely got some high energy, a lot of focus on our values and our mind and our feelings. And are we shining in, our authentic self and not looking at ourselves in that authentic form as some, weirdo in life? The sun will be at 9 degrees. It's a great action day. And there's definitely a force to create. It's about creating something better and ditching blocks or limiting beliefs so that you can liberate. As we come into Sunday, we're going to see that sun at 10 degrees. Excuse me. And we're getting that exact opposition to Chiron. And this is the weekend where I think we have to get like a really good look at the reflection of ourselves through other people to see how far we've come. And it's going to be far. So this is where you can find so much balance if you're willing to, whatever comes up from the past, whether it's people, past relationships, they're trying to show you that you've upgraded. Now, maybe it's upgrading through a sense of forgiveness. Like maybe that person's meant to come back and they grew and they evolved too. That's definitely a possibility. So it's not like if anybody just comes back into your life, like, no, I grew out of you. Like it's a good time to, have the talks, have the conversations. We can still learn a lot. We're going to get the exact trine from Mercury and Jupiter today. So, people are the gift. Relationships are the gift. They might come in weird, out of the norm ways. It's hard to say. We are starting to see, Mars starting to quincunx over to Uranus and Taurus as well. So it's like the greatest relationships, the greatest gifts are probably going to come by taking action in such a different sort of way with your healing and your identification that you've done. And we get the moon coming into Virgo. So we definitely are getting, there's a pickiness when the moon comes into Virgo. Like we're going to want to get things logically and analytically straightened out in our life, maybe even physically. And it's going to quincunx Saturn. So definitely some quincunx energy, and it will quincunx Chiron, which will have the sun, of course, in opposition. Gosh, I think we can really beat ourselves up, especially if we're not focusing enough on ourselves and what will make us happy or what will harvest the best reality. We're not taking the steps to see what came in and what's showing up, of showing you some way to purify your world. Like it's like, gosh, if the trash is really smelly, take it out. Like some things just maybe need to go and get straightened up and cleaned up in life. And, action to do that kind of thing. But it's a great manifestation day with the sun at 10 degrees. Like you can create some really beautiful things in your physical world. You have to, want it though. You have to assert yourself and move in that direction. And I think it's just kind of like it's a quincunxy day. But there's like radical shifts that you can make, and the moon will finish off the day almost in trine to Uranus, but that'll be more Monday. And the moon is coming into its dark moon phase this afternoon as well on Sunday. So there's a lot that we're closing out from that Libra lunar cycle. Virgo lunar cycle coming into the Libra new moon, which will be conjunct Mars and quincunx Uranus. So yeah, there's definitely radical new shifts taking place with our relationships, but that's where the gift is at, and that's where we're going to learn something about ourselves through people. And there's a lot of beauty to that. So we want to be open to that beauty, not block it out, and see where that takes us this weekend. This is the helio chart. I have it up, so I'll just show you. This is the Earth. So Earth and Chiron will be together. We are going to see Saturn and Venus together. And we started off the week with Venus and Pluto together. So, talk about like our relationships and our feel-good energy and our money, like definitely going through the gauntlet here. this last week that we had and finishing up this weekend, Venus Saturn will be very interesting to see sort of where that's progressed. We haven't seen this transit come together since Saturn was in Capricorn. So definitely going to be different. It's going to be out of the norm, sort of money things, government things. That there's a lot of weird mandates getting pushed through that started coming out on Friday. Of course, it's YouTube here. I can't talk about like the thing in the arm or anything, or I'll get deplatformed. But yeah, making kids do it, pretty unnecessary. So yeah, it's we're gonna see some restriction on our personal rights and values. It seems like more and more, like that's just ramping up. But Mars is making really nice aspects to that, so I think we can find justice and beauty through the people that are solid and are reliable in our lives, that have this futuristic outlook of where beauty can be found, and we can all act in that direction as the Sun and Mars will come together for the new moon. We're also going to get the Sun opposing Mars in Helio. So definitely big energy here around our identification, our healing, and we have to kind of liberate for what the best feeling of life is going to be, what the best relationships are going to look like. And that North Node in Gemini is like, it's got to be stuff in your community kind of, or at least have that twin-like energy. That's where the goodness and the greatness can really come through. And I think that we can get help, or, at least get a good, like, I would say Libra season, like we definitely want like a good pat on the back sometimes and being like, hey, you're doing a good job. Especially with the Sun and Mars opposing Chiron. So if you're feeling generous and you see someone struggling, maybe, show them a little love and a little compassion and lift them up. And vice versa, if you're kind of struggling, hopefully somebody can come along and give you a little bit of that love too, and let you know that you are worth it and you can keep creating what is necessary to bring balance and harmony into your life. Yeah. King of Pentacles upright for this weekend. Woo. Definitely time to manifest and sit on the throne of all the great things that we can acquire and bring into our life. There's a lot of aspects to Venus on Saturday. It's very important. There's going to be decisions about values, and if you have your own capacity to create it, or if you need to accept help from somebody close, that's going to help you feel more secure and really sitting on your throne of really like soul capital. I love that saying so much, but it's more than just the physical too. Like this is soul capital energy, and really knowing your value and worth, and having that, really strong authority in that. Why did we get that? Judgment reverse. I just think if you don't grab onto your value real tight right now of yourself and that confidence to create, you're kind of missing the judgment call. So this is where we might get tested on our manifestation abilities of how to acquire what we need. And we want to show up to the call. We don't want to miss that call. And the overall for the weekend is, the Ace of Cups upright. Love that. So there's some really beautiful energy that's trying to start and give us a lot of emotional fulfillment. Our cups can be overflowing if we're willing to do the things to get that, to get us there in the physical, so that we can have that true comfort and satisfaction of whether it's love, romance, just physical connection, all of that with the people in our life. So it looks like there's beautiful things starting for the people who are willing to listen, maybe intuitively to the call, to shift things around and change things so that you have what really makes you feel secure and stable within yourself, and hopefully other people too. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you for the weekly, the tarot, and I'll see you Monday for the daily. Sending you all my love and best. Peace.